Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Do You Mind podcast. Today, I have a very unique type of guest. It's a different category of genre she's in, but you might have seen her on TikTok, Facebook, might have met her in high school. You might have been a story that's not worth telling. So, Aleksia, do you want to introduce yourself for all of us?
I'm Aleksia Herrera. I'm on TikTok and I do a lot of travel and lifestyle content. I like to go and try out new places, especially family places. And I am a mom of two now. I just had a baby in October and I'm a fiance. So that's my
That's
life right now.
spicy. There's already something right there. Fiance. Your
Cultivating
fiance is
on it.
your high school sweetheart, right?
Yes, that's like a whole story. Honestly, it's crazy. Izzy and I did date in high school. We dated from the time that I was in seventh grade. I like the summer. I met him the summer from sixth grade going to seventh grade, and then we were together from seventh grade all the way to I think sophomore year.
So you broke up sophomore year. So what happened between sophomore year all the way until y'all got back together?
Oh my goodness! So sophomore year, I had another boyfriend. I don't want to talk too much about him. He was a great dude. Move on, right? So we broke
For
up,
sure.
and then I was kind of on my own for a little bit, which I really enjoyed because I felt like I really needed to find myself, like who I was as a person in high school, because I was with somebody for a really long time and then I jumped into like another serious relationship right after that. So I kind of found myself again, and then I met the person I actually married my senior year. I'd known him a while. I married him and then that's crazy. I got married right after high school. And then right after high school, I stayed married for like about 3 years and then I got divorced. So then,
Really?
yeah, I did. Yeah.
What led to that? If you don't mind me asking, of course.
So a couple of things, like neither of us were perfect. And I'll say that from the beginning. I don't want to like talk too much about him, but
Mhm.
like I'll speak on me. And for me, I feel like we were really young. I got pregnant when I was 19 with my son, and I feel like it was a lot of people pushing us to get married because we had a baby. Like, that's
For
just the right thing
sure.
to do. So we got married, and then after that, he went straight into the military. He went into the army, and he was younger than me, so he was less mature than I was. And we ended up moving to Colorado. And once we moved to Colorado, everything went kind of crazy. And I will say this, I'm a domestic abuse survivor. Not to like bash him or anything, because people grow, and I don't think that he's that way now. He has like a whole nother family now. But and I really believe that through prayer works, and I think that he's a changed man now. I think to me, him and I weren't meant to be, and I know that for sure. But I wish him the best. I tell people that I'm a survivor because I don't ever want anybody to feel alone whenever they
Hmm.
talk. I feel like I'm kind of rambling because I get kind of like whenever I talk about it. But I do like to tell people, just because for a long time I felt like I was alone, especially when you live in Colorado and you're there like by yourself and you don't know anybody. You are alone, So now that I've like come out and I've told people about it, military life
No,
is different.
it's a good thing that you're saying it, not because you said like bashing wise, but because it's a thing that happens quite often. People actually go through this a lot, and
And
the more you
it's
talk about it, the more it helps.
And see, in the military, I like as a military wife, I'll say too, like, you literally feel like you can't tell anybody, because if you do, you're like gonna lose your whole lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, he could get kicked out, and he eventually was kicked out for that reason, because things happened and the police were called and they found out, his higher ups found out, and then we exited the military lifestyle, and then he and I. What happened was, the reason that our marriage ended was because I got a message from some girl, like you do. And she texts me and she goes, "Hey, come get your man," and then sent me all these screenshots.
There
And
was a
I'm
better
like,
way to say that. There was no need to be that petty.
I feel like she just, she was younger than me too. But,
Oh God, do I know her?
yeah, I think you do. She was younger than us, but she was like, "Come get your man." She sent me all these screenshots. And then I was like, "Hey, what the heck is this?" Because at the time he was still in Colorado. I moved over here to like start working, and I got a
Hmm.
job with the school district. And uh, he was like, you know what? I'm so tired of you accusing me of stuff. And I'm like, bro, like, here's all the messages. What do you mean? And at the time I was like, dude, okay, like he abuses me physically, verbally. He cheats on me, and I'm just like, what am I doing? And I had to have like a come to Jesus moment with myself to be like, okay, like you love him, but like there's something's not clicking. Because I will say that I did love him. I just think that we loved each other differently and we were just too young, and I don't think it would have ever worked because we weren't meant to be. I know that we weren't.
Age is
Because I feel
definitely a
like
big factor.
now, yeah, I feel like now, like I'm with the person I'm meant to be with.
Oh yeah, I mean
So,
Izzy's cool as shit from what I remember.
yeah, no, Izzy's
I
super
never
cool.
I never knew him personally. I always knew him because of people that I was friends with that knew him. They would
Yeah,
hang out, but you know, you remember, I was in my own little world back then.
yeah,
Um, no, but that's good that you do speak about it, not because you're trying to bash, but it's because it's an awareness that needs to be spread. And
yeah,
a lot of women nowadays, which is what I love about nowadays, is well, it's like a love and hate because the way the internet works. But people have a voice now, and everyone has their voice, for better or for worse. You know what I mean, depending what you're saying. But when it
yeah.
comes to domestic violence situations, it always needs to be said because it's never okay. Like there was, you were there the one night I almost actually did some stupid shit like that,
I
and
remember that actually, but I don't ever, like, I don't talk about it.
very toxic relationship. I used to work oil field, so when I came home, I would do barbecues with my friends, and I would drink, and
And
I
I
would
was
do it.
there.
There was one night
Yeah.
you were there for sure,
Yeah.
and that night in particular, I was drinking way too much liquor than I should have been doing, and her and I had some problems that day, and one of the problems was that she never comes outside to talk to my friends. She treats my friends like they're strangers. And I tell them, like, these have been my friends since elementary. Like, these are practically family members. Like, you need to
Yeah.
be social and quit being so, like, rude, pretty much. Well, we got into a fight, whatever. So I was outside. We were drinking. You were there. You know all the details.
Yeah.
Well, I was drunk and I already had some hostility towards her from over, like, 2 years of being with her. At that
Hmm.
point, I didn't even want to be with her. I was just there for the child. And she just pissed me off because she was just talking shit in front of everyone. And I'm like, the one time you come outside to talk to people is to embarrass me. So I was pissed, but like 100 things were going on at the time too. And that's when I got mad and I lost my character. And luckily, I mean, I don't speak to him no more, but luckily James was there and he kept me from losing my cool entirely. And then what happened after we left is we went to the park. He sat me in the car and he just told me, like, man to man, like, hey, dude, like, this is not worth it. You're going to give up everything in your life that you're working towards over one girl that's just going to
Yeah.
put you in jail. And I was like, in the moment, I was so drunk. I was like, I don't give a damn. Like, you know what I mean? She pisses me off, dude. I hate her. Da, 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 da. And he's like, well,
Yeah.
why are you with her? And I'm like, you're
Yeah.
right. Why am I with her? Well, fast forward, it took me like about 3 more years, I'd say, to break away from her.
And you know what? I will say too, like, I think, and I'll say it like about Izzy too, is that I think that it's really true that if you love somebody, you let him go and you'll see, like, if they come back to you, it was meant to be. And if they don't, they don't. It wasn't, they don't.
For sure.
With my ex-husband, I, wish him the best. He's my son's dad. I have to get along with him for the rest of my life for my son, and I will. But, you know, as far as like domestic abuse goes, it really, for me, it changed my life in a lot of ways. I learned a lot about myself, through that whole situation. And I'm not thankful that it happened to me and that I had to go through that, but I'm thankful for who I am now because of it. I
Hmm.
feel like I'm a stronger person. I'm a different person. I'm not who I used to be. Whenever, and I tell people that too. Whenever I was in that relationship, I didn't like who I was as a person. I was ugly to people.
I feel that so hard right
Wondered,
now.
you know what I mean? Like I wondered like what it would be like to be with other people, even though I was married to him because of how he treated me. Like I just didn't like that. You know what I mean? And I
Hmm.
think, and I can be honest with myself and say that. That's why I said too, like I wasn't good to him either. I just think we weren't meant to be. And that's the end of that.
I think I don't mean to dig into his habits or whatever, but did he consume alcohol? Was he on any type of substances?
No. So my ex-husband actually didn't do anything. He didn't do drugs.
Well,
He
no wonder
didn't.
he was pissed.
he
Nah, I'm just joking.
needed like an what is it? He all
An
he did was
escape.
play video games. Like he played video games all day, every day. Like never really wanted to hang out with me, which is like different, like a polar opposite from like what Izzy and who Izzy is. Like Izzy and I do everything together. Like we're outside. Like when he comes home, like we're everywhere. We really are. We're never home. He had, I think, a lot of like a troubled past. I know he had a troubled past, and I don't like not. I'm not excusing him either. You know what I mean? Because some people
For
say
sure.
like, "Oh, you're excusing him," but no, like he did. He had a hard life growing up, and I don't think that he ever really experienced like real love. He would tell me that like he doesn't really know how to love people, and I'll I'll say that I'm a testament of that. Like I know that. And he had like work done where he went to a psychiatrist who told him, and they did like a brain scan of his brain, and the part that produces dopamine wasn't working on him. It didn't work. And I
So
don't know
he
if he ever
couldn't be
got that
happy.
fixed. Yeah, he literally could not be happy. So I don't know if he ever ended up getting that fixed or not. I hope and pray that he did. But I mean, he looks happy now. So
I'm
good for
glad you
him.
said that because I'm sure you heard this story a million times from the episodes. But when I went to rehab, they actually did a brain scan thing on me to figure out what my triggers are and how my brain reacts to certain questions and scenarios. And that's how I found out that from my father's side, they have a problem with schizophrenia. And
Really?
alcohol actually makes that issue in my brain activate. So if I would have kept drinking the way I was drinking and doing drugs back then, I would have went crazy. I would have
Yeah.
gotten super aggressive. I was already getting paranoid, and I used to tell James all the time, like I think people are out to get me, and da 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 da. I used to just say crazy shit,
Mhm.
and he used to look at me like, bro, I think you're over exaggerating, and I'm like, no, like I did so many shitty things, like people are gonna get me, like I know people are plotting, they're just waiting for their moment, and he's like, calm down, bro.
You're like, no, no, yeah, I get you.
And then when I used to drink alcohol, the more frequently I was doing it, the more aggressive I was starting to get. So that's why today I don't drink alcohol. I don't even smoke cigarettes. I don't vape. I don't touch anything because once I found out in rehab that if I were to continue that, then I would definitely lead
Do
down the
it.
path that my father's in. And right now he's in jail. If you look up the Alice County roster, he's in there. We have the same
Really?
name and everything.
Dang,
So
I didn't know that.
yes, and his father was schizophrenic as well, but he caught it early and he got treatment.
He
So
got meds.
it fixed for like a certain amount of time. He took it and it fixed, and then he was good because he caught it early, so he was fine. My father's been abusing methamphetamine, heroin, pills, all the shit that I was doing, except for heroin. Never did that, but he did it for 10 plus years. So he's at a point where he's so far gone, there's no coming back. He's at the point too where he doesn't believe that he's schizophrenic. He thinks the world's crazy and he's just the one sane one in the world and
It's
everyone's just
his
the
world,
devil.
and we're just living in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and it's sad, but
it is
that's what
sad.
happens.
Like I've seen, I don't do any drugs at all, because I've seen the way that it affects people, and that
Mhm.
terrifies me. If you know me, you know that I struggle a lot with. I'm like a hypochondriac. I think that I have everything and all at once, and
You
it's like
Google
the
all your
worst.
symptoms.
I'm a Googler. Yeah, I'm a Googler. I am, and
I'm
I
gonna die. Oh my god, my foot itches.
literally and you'll go to church. If you go to my church and you stay after when they pray for everybody, I'm constantly there getting prayed for anxiety because it's just really bad. But anyway,
Hmm.
I uh used to drink a lot, actually. So in Colorado I drink a lot. I would drink, like, I'm not kidding you, maybe a wine bottle a day. And if you know, in Colorado, because of the elevation, you get drunk like faster.
Hmm.
I don't know why. I don't know the science behind it, but you do. And so whenever I lived there, I got a MRI, and they told me that I had a fatty liver. So I kind of
That
chilled
young?
out. Yeah, I was
Damn.
22, but I think like what you eat too kind of plays into that.
Oh,
So
for sure.
I got like really big when I lived over there, but I think I was really depressed too.
Yeah.
So once I moved back, I kind of didn't drink that much until I became officially single. I started going out and I started drinking a lot again. And then I kind of, I smoked weed here and there, but it wasn't like anything that I ever like felt like I needed to do. I think I did it more socially than anything.
Yeah. I mean,
But then even like up until a year ago, I started drinking a lot again. And I kind of told myself, like, why am I drinking? Like, nobody's here. Like, I'm drinking by myself. You know what I mean? So I've gotten so much better. I'm not an alcoholic. I will say that maybe a year ago you could have called me one, but I feel like I don't like the way that it makes me feel anymore. Maybe it's because I'm getting older that I don't want to wake up feeling like crap the next day. And I think too a lot has to do with the reason why I'm trying not to drink so much is because like that's just not something that I want for myself anymore because of like who I am and where I stand like God wise, like with Jesus. Like I that's just not something that I want for myself. So I
So
try to
tell
stay away
me,
from it.
how big was the factor of God in your journey of getting by yourself again and finding out your self-worth and finding where you are now?
So um I could actually show you the Bible verse too that kind of like helped me. Because when I was in that bad place in my relationship, I was told every day like you're not anybody important, nobody cares about you. Um if you're going to be nothing without me, like stuff like that. I was told that literally on the daily. So when I moved back here, I was a substitute in Colorado, but when I moved back to Alice, I was looking for a job and I was in a shell for like 3 years. I only spoke to my family and I wasn't even going to church anymore. And that that's crazy because I went to church my
That
whole life
is
because you've known me my whole
bizarre.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I wasn't even going to church anymore. And I would only talk to my family, a few friends here and there. Shout out to Jordan, love you. And I was just alone. So I really believed the things that he was telling me because I felt like anytime I spoke to people, they were like, "Oh, this girl's stupid." Or I had a big friend group at the time too, but like before that, but things happened and I learned a lot about myself in that situation too. I'll tell you more about that later, but because I don't want to
for
get into
sure.
that on this part. But
No problem.
so as far as God coming into my life and changing it all around, I got a job at the school district with actually Debbie Guerra, she's running for place 7 right now for the school board, and she was actually our principal too,
No kidding?
our high school principal. Yeah, she was a pre-K teacher at Dubose, and I got a job as her aide when I
What
moved
year
back to
was
town.
this?
She
So,
was our senior year principal.
oh, that's why I don't remember her. Senior year was, man,
Really?
I was high every day.
No, she was a really good. I don't know. I can't speak if she was like for it longer. I know she was there, but I don't know if she was our principal. Because remember, we had like 4 principals.
I know, that's how bad
Mhm.
our freaking school was.
Yeah, every grade level I think had one. But so I ended up working under her, and I will say that I feel like she changed my life. She was like a good mentor for me. She taught me so many things. She helped me in so many ways, and I think that God like gave me her at Miss Guerra to help me guide me through that journey of divorce and finding my self worth again because she's dealt with her own things. She'd actually probably be a really cool person to have on your podcast because she's like so experienced in so many ways. But she told me, she was like, Aleksia, he is gonna say all these things to you. Like, what do you want to be with him for? Why? Like, what is the reason that you want to stay? And I'm like, oh, for my son. She goes, your son's gonna get older and he's gonna see the way that he's treating you and treat you just like that too. Like, is that what you want? And she didn't tell me like ever like to leave him, but she said, life's about choices and this is like you're at a fork in the road and you have to make a choice. And are you going to make a good choice or a bad choice? And she says that a lot, like even to the kids, like the pre-K kids, like, are you going to make a good choice or a bad choice? And um, eventually I got to a point where I was like, I am not nobody. I'm very smart. I can do things that I want to do. I can trust myself that I can be good at doing those things, and it was kind of like her building me up to be able to finally be like, I don't need you anymore. And so because I had a job, I didn't need him anymore because I fully financially relied on him too. So, and I didn't need him anymore at all for that. So I really feel like, and then I got back into church too. And getting back into church, I met with my pastor maybe every other week, and he would pray for me and he would show me in the Bible. Like, I talked a lot to him about the kind of person I wanted to be as far as like I wanted to get back into church. I wanted to get back into ministry. But how could I do that if I'm living this kind of life? Like, stuff like that. And eventually I did get back into ministry. Like I sang this morning at church.
No kidding? That's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like I really feel like God picks you up and he dusts you off and he's like, where have you been? and throws you right back in. And I think that that's what he did for me in my life, because I was gone for a while, and I tried to go to churches too. It's kind of crazy because, you know, I went to churches for a little bit in Colorado, and there was this one church that actually had a beer and a Bible class. It's crazy. I know. And it's kind of too, like, you think about like false prophets and like churches that aren't really all, I guess, holy. And I feel like that church kind of made me feel a different way too. Like, I was like, what is going on here? Like, why am I sitting in a bar right now with my Bible open? Like, this is crazy. But
Yeah.
I think that I was reaching, and I was trying to find God anywhere I could. And that place at the time was like, oh, like, it's okay, we let you drink here. So I was like, sure, I'm all in. But I know better, and I know that God wouldn't have liked that, and he just changed my life. He really did. And I really feel like that's the reason why I've been able to stay away from alcohol better this time, because I'm just looking literally straight forward, and I'm I don't want to go back to the way I used to be. I don't. And I want to share that Bible verse with you, but I have to find it. So if you want to ask me anything else, you can. But it's the
No, that's
Bible
cool.
verse I will say that like helped me kind of.
No, that's really cool because I have a similar thought process when it comes to that because I wasn't a churchgoer growing up. I never led by example as far as the Bible. I was always like the complete opposite of that. And when I started accepting God into my life, that's when life got insanely different. And I can't even describe it really. I mean, if you were there and you know me now, it's very evident.
I feel
But
like you're very different now. I do feel that because I've known
I get
you.
that
I
a
mean,
lot.
like I said, we've known each other our whole lives, you and I. So I do
Yeah.
feel like, I mean, even just talking to you, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy that we are like where we are right now in life.
I mean, we all grow up someday, or at least we're supposed to.
We're supposed to.
Yeah, that's why I'm not friends with a lot of people from the past because they're still doing things we were doing at 19 years old, and I just can't associate with that. I just can't.
Yeah. It's also too like I don't want my kids around that.
Exactly. I
I'm
have
so
friends that I've known forever. They have not stepped foot in my apartment because my kids are here, my wife's here. This is like our space, and if I bring you into my house, that's big. I didn't understand that growing up because my mom used to never want people in the house that she didn't know. And I used to
yeah.
be like, why are you always hating for her? Like, why are you being the boring mom? Like, god damn, you're annoying us. But then now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, okay, this
This
is
is
your
why.
area, You
Yeah,
can't just
it's
bring
like your
anyone in.
sacred place. Yeah.
I totally get that. So,
Look, I found it. So it's in Psalms 18:16.
mhm,
And it says, he reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They comforted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me.
that's better.
So,
That's powerful.
yeah,
That's
you
very
know what I
powerful.
mean? And that, I feel, is why I am here. I'm here because God rescued me, because he delighted in me, and because he knew that I'm worth more than anything that I've done in my past. I'm not who I used to be, and I can change people's lives. You know,
And
that's what I feel, because
I
he
think
changed my life.
people don't really understand the power of faith until they finally do it. And not just, I'm praying before a meal and I'm praying before bed and, that little stuff. I'm talking about like fully accepting and the difference, like, let's just say 6 months. Like, you compare your life that you've known and then 6 months into faith, your life's so different. Even just the way you wake up in the morning is different.
Yeah,
And I used to think that that was complete bullshit when I was younger. I used to just be like, why am I going to put faith into someone that we don't even know is real or not? Like, I used to compare Jesus Christ and God to Santa Claus. Like, oh, we never see them, but they're there. They're doing their job all year round, so to
yeah.
say. And I used to
Do,
piss off a lot of people that were strongly into church without really realizing how arrogant I really was. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
just when you're younger, you tend to think like your mindset is the only one that actually makes sense. And
Do you remember
sad
I
to
would always
say,
invite you to like youth group and stuff?
yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I'll go.
I have
I
a
went.
picture. I have a picture of you at what is it called? Whenever you gather around the, I can't think of what it's called. You gather around the flagpole. Hi, I can't think of it. See you at
You
the
gotta
pole.
send me that.
I
You
have
gotta
a
send me
picture
that.
of you. See you at the pole. It's archived on my Instagram. I'll
Yeah,
send it to you.
you gotta definitely send me that because I didn't take pictures that much in high school. I was just too big into the moment, and
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
I
I just
always took
never,
pictures because even the one I sent you the other day, like I've had that one for years.
I never even knew that picture existed. I don't
Yeah.
remember taking that picture at all.
I have
So
tons of pictures with like you, with Ethan, with James. I have like videos. I have them all.
I miss
Still,
Ethan. I ain't gonna lie.
I miss
Me and
Ethan
Ethan,
too.
we fell off because I don't know. We just stopped talking one day, right? And he low key pisses me off. You know what I mean? Because that's
He's such a
bullshit.
good person,
Yeah,
right?
I don't
And he's
know.
so funny. I can't stand him.
He
But
does dumb things without realizing how dumb they are, and I think that's what makes him who he is. You know?
well, like I saw him today actually.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, I told him hi real quick. Like I don't like stay in conversate for like other reasons, but he like was like, "Hey." Like, just real quick, literally. And we just passed each other and we kept walking. But he went to church today. I see him sometimes there.
That's dope.
I do
I
miss
feel
him.
I feel like one day him and I are we're gonna rekindle, but it's probably not
Well,
gonna be for like another few years.
when y'all rekindle, invite me so we could all hang out again. We could
It
have a
probably
bonfire at Melissa's like we
it
used to.
it probably be a while. Melissa, who's Melissa again?
Ethan's mom,
Oh yeah, we call her Mellyfint.
Melifant.
Yeah,
I
she's cool as
never
fuck.
have called her that.
Yeah, I actually I still talk to her from time to time.
I
Not like a
talk to her
lot, but
a lot. I think I talk to her a lot. Well, because
she's
I see
cool.
her at church, yeah.
She
Like
was like my
today we
second
were
mom.
showing each other our boots.
That's something she would do. She's
Yeah.
definitely into that shit.
And so am I. I
Yeah.
love Western fashion. I'm into it. Catch me this year at the NFR. We're going. I'm not kidding. We really are.
So that's dope. So we know the whole story of how your first marriage went. We know how the power of faith got you through that time. So I want to know, how did the rekindlement of you and Izzy start?
Okay, that's where I was going whenever I was telling you that. So, I was single and I got on Tinder. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
damn,
Oh my
she
gosh.
was bored.
Yeah, I was bored, okay? And I needed to stop texting my ex-husband, okay? I needed to get him away from me, and I
So
couldn't
I'm
do
gonna
it.
text another guy.
Yeah. It's just so dumb. Like now that I think about it, I'm like, what were you doing? Like just go find yourself, read a book, like, go to the gym, do something else.
Write in the journal.
Nope. I got on Tinder. So, I was on there, swiping as one does.
Mhm.
And I I didn't care at the time, Adrian, okay? I was young. This is a different Aleksia than who I
Oh, for
am right
sure.
now. And I was just going on dates with people. I went on some crazy dates with Tinder people. So I went on that date. I went on another one. I went on several. And finally, I was like, I wonder what Izzy's doing, right? So
Oh my god.
I peeped into his life and I got on Instagram and he had a girlfriend. So
So?
I,
Nah, I'm just joking.
no, literally, look what happens. So he had a girlfriend, so I kind of left it alone. But then one night, I got really drunk, and I was like, "Who cares that he has a girlfriend?" And I DM'd him on Instagram, and because it looked like they were broken up. So let me say that too. So it looked like they were broken up, and I had been wanting to text him, and then I was like, I don't know if they are, so I'm just not going to text him. But then that night, I didn't care, so I texted him. So I text him and I really could pull up the messages right now and you'd laugh because I'm texting him and I'm like, "You're not Izzy. This doesn't sound like Izzy." And because based off of what the person was saying, it was Izzy's account, but it was not Izzy texting. And they're like, "Just leave him alone. He's in a happy relationship, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "Oh, sorry, my bad." Right. So then immediately his girlfriend DMs me on Instagram because I knew it wasn't him. I knew it was him.
But
She was texting me on his account, is
but
what
she already
happened.
told you what she had to say, so why even go?
She goes,
Why instigate?
I don't know. So she she texts me from her account. She goes, "Sorry, honey, he told me, LOL. It's not that big of a deal. Like, yes, we're together still." Because I had put in there like, I don't know if you are still together, but like I like, hey, like how have you been, whatever. And she goes, yeah, we're still together. It's not that big of a deal. Just, I just want to let you know that, yeah, we're together. And after that, I left him alone. I was like, it's fine. Like, he's in a relationship. I'm going to leave him be. Because I had already learned I already learned my lesson with people who were already in relationships. And I didn't want to go back down that road. And I wanted to respect him. You know what I mean? Because I did have a relationship with him in the past. So I went to Austin with my friend for her 21st birthday. I think she turned 21 at the time. And we did 6th Street. And, we went out. Everything was so much fun. We came back. And maybe like a week later, I get Izzy Garcia added you on Snapchat. And I'm like, what? Like, why? Like, what is going on, right? And let me tell you this too. I forgot to say this, and I have to say it because it's an important part of the story. January 1st, you know how they say that to hide under the table? I did that. At midnight, I hid under the table, and supposedly you're supposed to find like the love of your life that year if you do it, and I feel like it works. So if you're down bad looking for love, hide under the table at New Year's. I swear it works. So anyway,
Confirmed by Aleksia.
confirmed by
It
me and
works.
Izzy. Okay. So anyway, fast forward to February, I get a Snapchat that he added me, whatever. I snap him and I go, "Is this really you?" LOL. Because
Is this
before,
the real you?
yeah, because before, it was his girlfriend. It was or his ex girlfriend. And he goes, "Yes." He goes, "How have you been?" LOL. And I go, "I don't believe it's you. Call me right now." So then he calls me, and
He
I
has your
go,
number still?
No. He calls me like through Snapchat.
Oh, I was like, that girl was worried about some other shit. He
No,
was already 2 steps ahead.
no. He called me through Snapchat. And he goes, "Hey, like it really is me. Like, what are you talking about?" So then I kind of explained to him what happened, and he had no idea that had even happened, like on Instagram,
That
because he said
sneaky
that.
little girl.
Yeah, he said that he didn't have like access to his own Instagram or whatever. I don't know. It's like a whole other story.
How the fuck do you not have access, but your chick did?
Yeah,
Okay,
he
there's
was in
some
a
red flags coming
no.
out here.
He was in a toxic relationship at the time. He was, but anyway.
The best.
So we love that, right? Anyway, so he was like, "Where are you?" And I go, "I'm in Alice." And he goes, "No way, like you don't live in Colorado anymore?" And I was like, "No, I'm in Alice. Where are you?" Because he lived in San Antonio. He goes, "I'm in Alice." And I go, "Where are you? I'm coming over." Literally, just like that. And you know me, because I've always been real spontaneous
Dude's
like
on his
that.
phone like, oh shit, that was simple. Yeah. Bring it
Yeah.
up. Bring it back. Stay over.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it was literally maybe 10 o'clock at night, and I drove to his house, and we stayed talking there till maybe 4 in the morning.
Those are the best talks, honestly.
We talked till like for hours, man, and it felt like the night like just went on and on and on. And then I remember going home, and literally all we did was talk. And some people are like, "Y'all really talked?" Like, yes, we did. We really only talked until the morning, and then I came home and I was like, "There's no way in hell that I'm letting him go this time." Literally, that was like my thought process. Like, he's not going anywhere. That one's mine. He's mine, and that's it.
That one's fine.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
ever since then, like, we've been together every day until, I mean, now he works in New Mexico, but ever since then, him and I, every day.
That's crazy. Does he ever get like tired of y'all spending that much time together, or he's
He
like fully?
doesn't, dude. No, I swear. He and I were like, we're the same person. We're made for each other. I swear, because he doesn't. He does not get tired of me. If I annoy him, he's like, "You're annoying me, but like get over here and let me hug you. Like you're cute." Like he's not mean to me like at all. And I get frustrated, and I'm kind of mean. I feel like I'm kind of the mean one. And I'm
Mhm.
like, "Bro, get away from me." But he's like, "Shut up, I'm not going nowhere." Like, I'm gonna be right here.
So y'all are married now, right? Like officially married?
No. So we're engaged. We were supposed to get married July 27th this past year, but I got pregnant and we were spending a lot of money. And I was like, I don't want to, like on our wedding. And I was like, I don't want to look like, I don't want to be pregnant like in my pictures. Can we postpone it? And he let me. So we're supposed to be getting married now this year, officially.
Nice. Does
Yeah.
that scare you at all, considering how the first marriage went?
So I used to be like a person that was like, sorry. No, yeah. So I used to be a person that was like, I'm never gonna get married again. Like that is not for me. Heck
Hmm.
no. He did change my mind again. Like I want to get married. I can't wait to be a wife again. Like, it's just stuff like that. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait.
That's dope.
I can't wait to be Aleksia Garcia. Like, even in high school, I used to like write that in my notebook. Like, you know what I mean? That's just crazy. So
I wonder if him and I are related because we have the same last name.
I
And
know.
Alice is such a small place. I mean, there might be a chance we are related.
No, honestly, Izzy's related to everyone. He's related to the whole town. Like, you don't even have to
That's
have his
crazy.
last name. It's
That's
crazy.
crazy. Well, that's cool. So you're at this point, and where do you see yourself now in the future heading? Because I know you're doing your content creation. So is that like part of the future plans, or is that just something for now? How's that
No.
going?
So ultimately, I want to be like a, I guess like a mom travel lifestyle influencer. Like, that's ultimately like my goal. Like, I really do want that for myself.
Hmm.
And right now I'm actually sitting at 899 followers. Right
Hell
now,
yeah.
this very moment, I think that once I hit 1,000 and I hit the creator fund, I think it's going to be easier, because if you know me, you know I love to shop, and I can't
Mhm.
wait. I can't wait to get those samples in. I'll review everything for everybody. Like, that's my thing. Like, that's what I do. That's my content, you know. I do hope that I grow. I just want to keep growing. I want my own podcast. You and I have talked a little bit about that. I'm just trying to come up with a new name, because the name that I had, somebody else actually has, and I don't want to like feel like I'm stealing from
Mine's
anybody.
taken too.
Yours is too?
I said, fuck it. I'm gonna have
Really?
a bigger subscriber count than you, and I'm gonna have to force you to change your shit.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it's kind of hard because I think everyone has like a name already taken, you know? Unless you come up with something extremely like
like, unique.
unique, but at that point it's probably going to be too long of a podcast name. So simplicity is always the best thing, especially with content creation, writing, anything. Just simplicity is literally the best shit ever. You got to make it yourself though, for sure. But actually, did you know this was supposed to be a podcast with me and JD?
JD? Oh my gosh, I saw him the other day.
Yeah,
No, I didn't know that. He's cool.
he backed out like last minute, and it's actually a crazy story because I literally almost crashed out about it. So we were talking about this podcast for, I would say, almost a year, probably like a year, and it used to just be like funny conversations between us. And I guess he thought, it would never actually get moving in that direction of making it happen. But I just told him like, no, no, next year is going to be the year it starts. So we were supposed to launch in September of last year. But he was going through something and he's like, hey man, like I'm not in the right headspace. Like, can we do this maybe in a month or so? I was like, yeah, I'll give you till the end of October and we'll get started on that. Well, we're getting towards the end of October. I was like, hey bro, like I'm gonna go over this day. We're gonna record because, we're supposed to have the episode out by Halloween. He literally hits me with that. I don't think we can do it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is supposed to air next week. Like, what are you saying right now?
Yeah.
So I literally had to like pivot and redo the entire podcast, like figure out everything on my own and get a guest and everything. And I did it all within like 3 days. And
That's crazy.
that's when I had my first episode. It was with Jake Lizzie. Shout out to him. He's cool as shit. But I was using my game headset as a microphone in the headphones, and the audio was absolutely terrible. But I told myself, like, it's the first episode, it's not going to be
Yeah.
good.
I mean, and if you grow, like, I used to do YouTube way back when. I had to archive all my old videos because it was like the content that I do now, but like in my old life, you know? I tell people I feel like I've lived 5 lives since I graduated high school. Like, I've just had so many different things happen.
Hmm.
But I really hope that like you grow. I hope that I grow. I hope that like Amber grows. Like, like everybody who's trying to do content right now. I know that Ayla's doing really well. There's another girl doing content. Her
Ayla,
name Hillary.
Ayla Cantu?
Yeah, she does content too, and it's
I
really good.
haven't
It's really
seen
good.
or heard her since maybe like freshman year.
No, she does really. I like her content because she does like she does hair, right? She's a hairstylist, and she does her girls' hair every morning, and I think it's so cute, like the different styles that they want or whatever. I love her content. I think that she could go really far too.
That's
Um,
dope, man. I like
mhm.
hearing old classmates doing shit like that. That's
Yeah,
dope.
it's really cool that like everybody's kind of getting into it.
I mean, it's hard not to these days. I mean, there's
Yeah. We're like,
You just, if you have a cell phone, you can just do everything you want already.
yeah, that's why I love TikTok. Like whenever they said that TikTok was gonna get taken down, I was genuinely sad about it. Like I think I cried. I'm trying to remember.
You legit cried over TikTok?
Yeah, dude, I cried over
Oh
TikTok
wow,
because the algorithm is just so different. I'm not kidding. It's like
that is true.
YouTube, it's like it takes effort. Like you have to like plan something and you have to like edit it and it takes so long and then you want to make sure it's at
Hmm.
least 10 minutes long or whatever.
Yeah, I
And
know that struggle right now.
yeah, no, dude, and YouTube, like I love it, and I plan on filming more YouTube videos once I move because I'm gonna have like a whole place to do it. That Izzy's building for me. I'm super excited about it. But
He's building it for you,
yeah, he's building me like a whole set. I'm
man.
super
You got
excited,
that boy whipped.
dude. I
God
love
damn.
Izzy. Izzy and I, we're solid. But honestly, I'm really excited about YouTube to start YouTube again. But TikTok to me is just like I literally can just pick up my phone and record it. It's super easy to edit and it's up in like 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Like I love it. I love
Yeah,
TikTok. I hope
YouTube,
that
you
they
gotta
save it.
sit there, let it process. You gotta let it do all this shit before it gets up.
I
And I
know.
do podcast episodes, so to upload 2 hours of content, oh my god, I'm just
You're sitting there waiting.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you have to let it do it. Because if it messes up, you have to redo the upload. So if you try to put it when you're going to sleep, you wake up and it says failed. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Like
Yeah,
it screws up
literally. No,
everything.
I remember that. I remember like whenever I would no. Mm-mm.
And it's crazy too because the power of the internet is so crazy. Like you can get big or you can get collaborations out of nowhere. That's kind of what happened with me and my podcast. I was actually technically 2 episodes in, and I scored that podcast with Kai Dansberg, and literally that was not supposed to happen. Like literally, I literally just sent him an Instagram DM, and I was just shooting for it. I 100% expected him to not even open it. Well, he opened it and he replied within like 10 minutes, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it."
That
And
is crazy.
I was like, this dude is a songwriter for a fucking celebrity, and he's a producer. He makes his own music. And you know that parody musician, Michael Trapson, the one that
Yeah.
imitates Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I know who
He's
you're talking about.
he's made beats for him.
That is crazy.
Like his range is so far. He knows so many damn people,
But that's what I
and it
mean,
blows my
like
mind.
us like being in like I remember Dr. Eberhard would call it like the information age. Like it's super easy to grab your phone and literally meet anybody. So I think that's why I think podcasts are cool. I think that it's cool that you literally just reached out to him and he was like, sure. There's not a lot of people that be like that. They'd be like, well, can you pay me? How much money are you making? Like, you know what I mean?
I
I
probably
think
would
it's
have,
cool.
honestly.
No, but it's cool that he wasn't because he was like, you're like a new podcaster. You're trying to
Yeah.
build. And I think that it's cool that for people to be that way with
Shout
people.
out Kai Dansberg, man. Me and him are actually like real life friends right now. Like we text still. We have conversations about music. Like he has an album coming out pretty soon, so he's been letting me hear the songs before they come out. Like me and him are cool. Me and
Oh
him are
my
cool. We
gosh,
even
music.
yeah, he does real good music. I'll link you his shit later.
Yeah, send it to me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I haven't talked
And
to like music and I haven't talked music in a long time. I remember you used to rap, right? You used to rap a lot. You don't talk about that on
yeah,
here?
unfortunately, no, it's just it was an era of my life where I was like very bad on drugs, and
Oh, dang.
I literally thought my music was fire. That I listen to it now, I'm like, who the fuck let me put that shit out, dude? That is ass. That is literally garbage. I had like two songs that I can actually say like I killed that shit. The rest of them, oh my god, turn that shit off. It's a miracle I even had listeners back then. But
I've never made my own music for that reason. You want to cover? Count me in. I don't write my own music.
well, it's not even the fact that the lyrics were bad because lyrically I was always good. It's just I don't know the way I was performing. It wasn't adequate enough, or at least it wasn't to my standard. But yeah, I'm actually doing music again.
Really?
This
When are you gonna
microphone
start
is
doing
my
that?
music.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
it's gonna be this year. I don't have a time frame yet because I'm not trying to do it like I did last time. I'm not trying to just rush things and
Put
try to
something
put
out.
out because what you have to learn as a musician is no one is waiting for your music when you're first starting. Like no one really gives a shit until you become something worth paying attention to. So it's key to actually take your time and perfect your music. And then really 90% of the job once the song's done is marketing. You know, your TikTok, your Instagram reels, your promo, like you just got to be your own marketer.
Yeah.
And that's what gets your music plays. There's even like Fetty Wap right now, right? He's all over the reels and shit for his song My Way. And Fetty hasn't dropped in I don't know how long, but now he's in the top
Like,
100 on the billboards again because of the reels and the Instagram shits and the
that's what I'm
TikToks.
saying. The TikTok
Mm-hmm.
sounds help. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have a good song, you can market that shit. There's a guy named DDG. He's married, not married. He had a kid with Haley Berry. That's her name. She was
Halle
the Little Mermaid.
Halle Berry.
No, it's another girl. Her name's Haley Berry
Is
or
it
something
not the
like that.
same name though? Okay, maybe I just thought that it
No,
was the same name.
I
But
thought
I
it was
know
the
who you're
same too.
talking about. I know who you're talking about because I watched
Yeah,
the movie.
he had a kid with her and he does YouTube and stuff and he's known for YouTube, but he made one song and he made like 15 remixes to it and just milked it till he couldn't no more and was like super rich off it.
Well, do you know that guy, the broke boyfriend on TikTok?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
jealous.
Well, his song, I think it was called "I'd Rather Overdose" or something like
Hmm.
that. Like that song, I downloaded. Like it was such a good song. So I mean, you
Yeah.
really, and I mean, he had a following already, but even that song was just really good. And he had never put out music before. He was known literally as the broke boyfriend. You know what I mean? Like I think that's
That's
cool.
dope.
Like
That is
everybody
definitely dope.
has an opportunity to be somebody because of
Yeah, I mean, like,
social
the
media.
Hawk girl. She literally got famous accidentally, and she made her own podcast, and she was making content. She got rich as shit, and then she did that crypto coin and vanished. Shitty,
It's so
but
icky. I hate the hug to it. Even like the sound, like I don't like it.
I
It's
don't
really
even know. I don't know why she got famous. I literally think it's just a lot of simp ass men out there who got too excited about her. Cause like
I
she's nothing special. Like, dude, I used to see
aw.
girls like that all the time. Like, whatever. It's a generic looking white girl. No big deal. But
You'd see
internet.
that. Where did you see that at? Not here. I feel like that's like sparse.
Oh, well, I'm in San Antonio, so
Oh
you go to
yeah, now
Target,
you're.
you see like 50 of them in one aisle.
That's crazy.
That's one thing I had to learn is life outside of your hometown is so different.
Dude, when I lived in Colorado, it was so diverse. I would substitute, like I said, and there was kids who spoke literally every language in one class, and it was like, how do I understand you guys? Like, I, I mean, yeah, leaving home. I wish I could go back, but I don't think I could ever leave again. Like I love Alice. A lot of people don't. A lot of people are like, it's a pit, like there's nothing there, and you're right. But like for me, I'm a small town hometown girl. Like I love it here. I go and I've been to like a lot of places, but I'm like one person who's always like, I gotta go back home. Like that's my hometown.
See, I can't do it in Alice only because I messed up so much over there that I just don't feel good being there. Like I go there to visit my son and he has autism and stuff, so I can't really take him too many places because he gets overstimulated quick. But
Mm-hmm.
when I'm in Alice, I don't feel safe at all because I did too much to too many people that I know eventually I'm gonna run into someone and they're gonna be holding on to that grudge from before. And
And you just don't want to deal with that because you're not that person anymore. I get you.
yeah, and having to explain that to someone, they're not gonna care, you know?
It's like, I feel like I've messed up a lot too. And, when you're in a small town, people judge you and, they remember and they don't let stuff go.
At
Um,
all.
but I feel like for me, like it wasn't anything like dangerous or anything. I feel like maybe yours could have been, but like, I do know that some people do still judge me for things that I've done in my past, which is crazy because like, if you know me, you know that I'm a completely different person from who I like, literally so different.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately, Alice is just, it's full of a lot of ignorant people. And I don't even know if it's not because it's just the people there. I think it's just how the behavior has been in that town for so long that it's just considered normal behavior. And when you go experience a different town or a different city, you realize how bad it actually is compared to other places. But I'm actually trying to do stuff behind the scenes to kind of change the way Alice is viewed. Like I got a few connections and I got a few people from the city that are working in there. and we got some plans to like really reshape the way Alice is. But to reshape a city, it's gonna not a city, a town. It's gonna take at least a decade and a half, maybe.
I
And even
think,
at that, you got to get past all the higher people that you don't see at the city
yeah,
hall.
yeah, true. I mean, like I saw your episode with Alex Lugal, and he
He's
talked
cool as
about,
shit.
yeah, no, he is. I've met him through Izzy because he and Izzy used to be really good friends. They're like kind of just like they are acquaintances now. Like if there's a problem with our car ever, like we know that we could call Alex and he'll answer. He's really
Hmm.
cool. But I saw that he was talking about like opening a soup kitchen. That is such. I think that that is such a good idea. A couple of years ago, we would give out socks to the nursing homes because
Hmm.
if you didn't know, I'm going to tell you right now, socks is like the probably on their highest of the things that they like on a list of things that they need. That's probably one of the highest things. For some reason their socks are always missing, you know what I mean? And it's like that at home too. Like you're like, where did my socks go? And then you need to go get more. But anyway,
Yeah.
we used to do that a lot. And I was thinking about how, if you wanted to help the whole community, like especially when it's cold, like giving blanket donations, like just stuff like that, I think would be really good to do in town. And I really need to move because I want to get like a storage unit, and I want to start doing the sock thing again. I want to do like a blanket drive. I think that, helping your hometown and grow, and just be come together. They say like Alice is buena gente, you know what I mean? But when something happens, like nobody's there for you. I disagree. I think that the generation that's coming up, like us, are the new adults, right? Because now we're adults. We're almost 30, which is crazy. I think
Don't
that
remind
we
me.
can make I think that we can make a big difference in our hometown. I and people leave, and I think that if they came back, not saying that they have to stay, but I just think like helping your community, like kind of heal and be good to one another. I think that that's always a good thing.
That's definitely what I want to do, and it's a process, because
Yeah,
we're only a few people and we're trying to change a whole town. But
yeah.
honestly, if you really think about it, I don't think anyone's really ever tried to do a movement like that in Alice. So us being the first generation to try, that's gonna be a big influence on the others to actually get that going. But
Yeah, just to
it's
give
definitely gonna
back.
happen.
Just to give back, to a town that gave us our childhood. Like, I think that that'd be really good.
Yeah, and I actually want to not become, but like do a little public speaking eventually, because there's a lot of kids in schools that are probably the same as I was, or probably worse. And I feel like that number is increasing every year on kids that are like that. And I know a lot of it from my experience because I didn't grow up super poor. I wasn't around gang members like some of these kids are. I just grew up feeling verbally abused so much and mentally just traumatized from a lot of shit from parenting and family members and stuff like that. So I understand from that point of view that it can make you act a certain way because you feel like you just need to fit into a crowd and you don't care what crowd it is. And the easiest crowd to fit into is the delinquents because, as long as you act stupid, you're gonna fit in.
Yeah.
But at heart, I was never that kind of person. Like ever, like even when we were kids, I was never that type of kid. Because when you're in elementary and DeBose Memorial, you can kind of figure out who's gonna be who off the rip. But yeah, I didn't start acting super crazy until like 8th grade, and
I feel
that
like
was
me
just
too.
insecurity.
See,
You weren't that bad, honestly. You were not that bad.
you don't think
You
so?
you were a church girl, so you doing anything that wasn't good was considered like, oh my god, I'm going crazy. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
everybody saw me that way, and I remember I'll never forget like going into high school and being like, I don't want to be known as the church girl anymore, like blah blah blah. Like I want to be like outgoing, and I want to be crazy, and I want to do it all. Like I literally did, like that's how I felt because I hated being known as the church girl. And I don't think I fully broke out of that until maybe sophomore year. I think, I don't know.
But it's not even a bad thing. Like
It
in
wasn't a
hindsight,
bad thing,
it
but
was
like
not a bad
in
thing.
high school, you're like, how do I fit in? Like, how do I be known as like, that crazy? Like, I don't know why I wanted to be known as the crazy girl. I don't know what the heck was going on. And that people have talked to me about high school now, and they're like Jordan will tell me, I just remember your boots and your hair. Like you had
Yeah,
big hair and you're always wearing boots. And you were always really quiet. And see, I like if I talk to you, I don't feel like you would say that I was quiet because I would talk
never,
to you. You know what I mean? I
never.
never was
You wouldn't
quiet.
stop talking
Yeah,
ever.
literally, I wouldn't. And but to other people, but that's because we were in the same friend group. But like to other people, I was like, just like I didn't talk to them because I was really shy. I really was shy.
Yeah,
I didn't want to
it's
look dumb.
it's definitely crazy what life's taught us at such an age, but it's been a cool ride, and I'm very thankful because if I didn't mess up as much as I did back then, I would not be doing anything I'm doing now. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest person by any means, you know what I mean? I still got a lot of work to do, but I'm just very happy that I've completely changed. As a matter of fact, my wife met my other friends' wives, and they knew me from back then, you know?
Hmm.
So they went on this little girls' trip to the Jigger, you know what I'm saying? And of course, they started asking her 100 questions like, well, how is he? You know what I mean? Because we remember him a certain way. And she was telling them like how good I am to her and, you know, all that good
And they
stuff.
were like
And
trying to talk you down or what?
kind of, they're trying to dig and they're like, what the fuck? This isn't the guy that we know. And I'm like, yeah, I've been telling you for the past like 7 years. I've been reading self help books. I've been going to church. I've been
But
listening to a lot of podcasts that help elevate your mind. Like I'm whoever I was back then. Like, you know, the humor part of me is always going to be there. I'm always going to be funny, but the way I was back then, that person's gone, man. Like it ain't. Now, don't get me wrong. If I get pissed off and I crash out, you know, part of that still lives there. But to
yeah.
get me to that point, that's nearly impossible to get me there.
Yeah. I mean I agree. I feel like I mean I don't think I've ever been like an ugly, mean, aggressive person. I do think that I I do get kind of crazy to a point where like and when I say crazy, I mean like I just don't care. Like I can get to that point, but it's kind of hard to get me there.
It's not worth it. It's not worth losing your character.
Yeah, because I know at the end of the day, like especially like if I'm mean, right? If I wake up and I'm having a bad day and I'm being mean, like I know at the end of the day I'm like, I didn't even gotta do all that. Like you know what I mean? Like you're
I'm
fine.
sorry, God.
Yeah,
I repent.
I'm sorry. Me to Izzy, I'm sorry, babe. Like I wasn't that
That's
wasn't
funny
me.
as shit. That's
My
funny as shit.
alternate ego's name is Rebecca.
That is crazy because I dated a Rebecca and that bitch was wild.
Did you really? I know a really cool Rebecca, but I don't know
And I'm
why. Whenever I gave myself that alter ego, whenever I was like 21.
and I'm not calling her a bitch to be disrespectful. It's just if you know who I'm talking about, that's just how she talks, and it's kind of like an inside joke, but ain't no big deal. Because I already know the internet's sensitive. You're like, oh my god, he called a woman a bitch. He's cancel him.
Right?
Like
And
I don't even have a platform, bro.
they're
Like
like,
calm
and
down.
Aleksia didn't even say anything to stop him.
She hates women too.
I know.
She's a female misogynist.
No, I'm actually like in a feminist class right now.
There's classes on that.
Yeah, I'm in a
I'm out of
class.
tune with
It's
the world.
called it's about gender. It's a class about gender, but like our whole first section is about feminism.
Chapter 1, fuck Andrew Tate. That'd be funny
Literally.
as shit. But no,
No,
I know
but
you have to get back to what you're doing because it is Sunday. You know, your family's having a great time back there. I want to let you get
you
back
heard
into
it.
that.
Yeah, you
Oh,
heard
for
it.
sure. How could you not?
Yeah, Sundays are for I'm a huge family person still. I've always been that way.
That's awesome. But thank you for being on the episode. I mean, everyone, y'all go check out her channels. I'm definitely gonna put them in the comments that way everyone knows where to go to.
Yep, I'm
If you're
Aleksia
into
Herrera everywhere.
if
Everywhere.
you're into lifestyle, product reviews, clothing reviews, anything that has to do with reviewing anything that the world consists of, this is the page to go to.
Yeah.
So it was a
Thrifting.
pleasure having you on.
Thrifting too. Thanks. I
She
had a
does
lot of
do some shit.
fun. I had a lot of fun. I hope that I was like interesting enough. Oh my god. Whenever you asked me to be in it, I was like, what am I even gonna talk about? So then I'm not
Everyone has a
kidding.
story.
I'm not kidding. I started looking up conspiracy theories because at the end of the day, I was like, if I have nothing to talk about, I'm a conspiracy theorist.
They're making the frogs gay. Alec Jones said so. That's crazy as shit. But eventually, I'll get to that Joe Rogan level where I can just talk about a conspiracy for 2.5 hours and get paid millions of dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But until we get there, we're gonna be doing this.
When you do invite me and I can talk about conspiracy theories all day long.
That's funny as shit.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure having you on. I hope y'all all check out her channels because honestly, pretty freaking good content. And
Thanks.
she's still evolving. You know what I mean? She's gonna level up, and you got to get that podcast started. I already sent you the link on how to do it.
I know.
So
And I
we're
made an
gonna get it.
account. I made an account already.
Hell yeah! So we're gonna get it started, and when you do start it, I'll gladly hop on to help you out.
Yes, you will. You can be my first guest.
All right, guys, with that being said, this was the Do You Mind podcast. We'll be back with another episode pretty soon. We had a few scheduled, but unfortunately, there was errors with the processing because the guest was from Germany. And yeah, you know, I'll make a video about that. But pleasure having you on. We'll see y'all next time.
Yeah, bye.